Heinz has recently been under fire for its short-term marketing focus and alleged neglect of long-term brand building, which happened due to, among other things, zero-based budgeting practices. Now, if you were a brand manager at Heinz and you wanted to revitalize the brand of Heinz and you wanted to build a marketing and commercial campaign, one of the things you would look at is the existing Heinz consumers, because the last thing you want to do is alienate them. So what you would do if you were using World of Glocalities app tool for that, you would plan a customer journey where you would select your target audience, go to brands, and then go to Heinz. As you can see, we have a lot of brands. We have also local brands, but right now we haven't selected the region. Then we go to countries. And for instance, we can select Europe. So here we have target audience, Heinz consumers in Europe. And the reference group would be everyone else in Europe. Then you call the journey, and you can call it anything you want really, but let's call it Heinz Europe. We submit it. It takes a couple of seconds, but it dives into a massive Glocalities database that looks at social motivational values, tone of voice, communication, sustainability, politics, you name it. But from a brand manager's perspective, let's first briefly look at the value cards and then dive into tone of voice. So what we can see that characterizes the Heinz consumer is that they're very carefree, also proud, but also imaginative and innovative. And what they score significantly less on is the value cards of authority, frugality, ambition, and beauty. So they don't like the authority. And just to backtrack a little bit, value cards is more of an intuitive tool that we have where people are flashed with images and keywords, and they have to select the ones that they resonate with the most, they care about the most. So it's actually very, very insightful tool. And then we can also go here and see the absolute values in the indexes and percentages. And we can download the PowerPoints, make graphs. We're not going to do right now, however. So what we saw is that they're not low on authority, high on carefree. Now, if we want to go more into tone of voice, we will go for archetypes. This is Jungian archetypes that you can trace through literature and films, but also commercials. And the archetype that appeals the most to Heinz consumers is the rebel. So the rebel is all about breaking the rules and making a statement and disrupting what's already there, the shock factor. They're also attracted to the archetype of the creator and the explorer. Now we can also look at the persuasion tactics, for example. In the persuasion tactics, we see that they would be most persuaded by tactic of scarcity, that so showing them they can miss a unique opportunity, something will run out if they don't act fast, but also disrupt and reframe. So showing a different perspective, disruption, reframing the message that they are used to, something that they're the element of surprise. And what they would be less persuaded by compared to the European average is fear. So they're not really going to be feared into something. They're not afraid of conforming to social norms or going against the flow. And what we like to use in Glocalities is the technique called triangulation. So seeing the same trends appearing through different tools, and that validates your conclusion and results. And disruption and rebelliousness, it's something that we see coming up again and again. On top of that, if we look at their life aspirations, the goals that they want to achieve in a 5-year time, very hedonistic. They want to enjoy it the most. Now, Heinz actually happened to release a commercial recently with Ed Sheeran, and we can see how that corresponds to the Heinz profile we saw in the Glocalities app. Let's go.
I've got an idea for a Heinz ketchup commercial. I was at this super posh restaurant.
Super posh. And now we've run it a bit here.
Out the only thing that can complete me. And at that point, the whole world came to a stop. In the way to what's screaming through his eyes. So that's my idea.
So This is an extremely funny commercial, and this really correlates to what we saw as Heinz consumers already being into, and it really would strike a nerve with them. It's rebellious, it's going against the flow, it's making your own rules, it's not being about beauty, and it's really striking. On top of that, they have released a limited editions of Heinz bottle with a tattoo that Ed Sheeran actually has on his skin, and that also plays into the persuasion tactics of scarcity. So all in all, based on the analysis that we have in the Glocalities database, we see that for Heinz consumers, it's a perfect recipe, and we expect that this commercial would really is a really good move from Heinz in terms of long-term brand building, and we expect that it would really pay off. Thank you for listening.